And welcome to Idaho Today. I'm Melissa Paul. Idaho's unique landscape and climate make it ideal for renewable energy like wind and solar. And the University of Idaho, alongside partners like Idaho Power, Avista, and Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories, are all ensuring that these investments are secure and operated by skilled engineers to prevent and mitigate cyber attacks. We went up to University of Idaho to see for ourselves. Brian, Paulo, it goes without saying, electricity is an incredibly important resource. I cannot imagine how society would even function without it. So help us understand, how is University of Idaho working with Idaho utilities and the industry to keep power safe, reliable, and renewable?
One of the first ones is just educating students. So we have a lot of students that graduate from our program that go to work at the Idaho utilities or consulting firms or companies that sell equipment to them. We also do senior design projects and research projects that solve problems that the utilities bring to us. We also sometimes advise projects. So for example, right now I'm on an advisory committee for solar and wind integration studies for Idaho Power.
How are you helping make reliable or renewable energy easier for Idaho's utilities?
So when you put in renewable energy, it behaves a little bit differently than the conventional generation. The Idaho utilities are actually better set for this than most of the rest of the country because of the hydroelectric resources we have in the state. But at the same time, the renewable resources like photovoltaic or solar and wind respond differently than conventional generation. So one of the things we're working on is trying to improve how protective relays detect short circuits on a power system to make them more reliable and make sure that they make correct decisions.
The program here, though, at University of Idaho itself, I understand the cybersecurity, the power, very hands-on for students. Can you talk a little bit about that?
When they go to work in industry, they may be working with physical equipment, or they may be working in the lab with computers. But we try to give them real-life examples to work with. So, for example, one of the projects Paulo is working on, he has recordings of fault events from real events that have happened in utilities, and he's using that for some of his studies.
The project that we are currently working on is about renewable integration and how it impacts power system protection. So we are studying conventional algorithms that were previously developed, like before renewable integration, and we are studying how it behaves now. So we are able to see the impacts of renewable integration into power system protection, and we are trying to develop novel algorithms to detect abnormal conditions in the power system, so we can keep basically the power going or to have the minimal interrupting time of the power grid.
And what are you enjoying about this research?
Oh, I have the chance to learn a lot more about power systems in general, and I have the chance to work with some real equipment and to work with the algorithms and validate what I am doing in the computer against the real device. So I am basically ready to work with anything related to the industry products.
So we can use this to simulate short circuit faults so that we can study how the protective relay responds to an event like Paulo talked about. We can also look at cyber attacks. So we can look at the effect as if somebody had broke into the equipment and broke into the network and was, say, injecting false data or sending commands to open all the circuit breakers, different things like that. We can learn the signatures of those attacks. We can also learn ways to mitigate them to keep from having any negative impact on the power system.
You're actually helping local utilities here in Moscow. Tell us about that.
So we're working with university facilities to try to make the campus a bit of a living laboratory for the students. So through senior design projects, we've done studies for determining where the university could install solar generation. A recent project that was actually over 3 years of senior design projects designed and specified gas turbines that could, or steam turbines that could be connected to the university heating plant. So we can actually supply about 1/6 of the electricity for campus through those steam turbines.
And Brian, I understand that you've been recognized with a very unique distinction. Tell us about that.
So I'm the Schweitzer Engineering Labs Endowed Chair in Power Engineering at the University of Idaho. Schweitzer Engineering Labs is a company headquartered in Pullman, Washington. And they are one of the world-leading manufacturers of devices for doing protection and control of power systems. With the endowed chair, they donated money to the university, and the university invested that. The investment income, it provides funds that I can use to pay for students or support developments in the lab. So for example, part of Paulo's salary as a student here is paid through that endowment.
Wow, so a major benefit here at University of Idaho, because then it also allows students like Paulo to work on some of the best equipment in the world.
Students have access to Schweitzer Engineering Labs equipment. They're very good at donating equipment to universities. But not only that, he also has access to talk to engineers from Schweitzer Engineering Labs, and he can also get some better ideas of solutions for problems and learning about some of the real challenging problems that utilities face today.
Where can people go so they can learn more about the work that you're doing here, and then also about the renewable energy that you're working on?
So they can go to the College of Engineering webpage, www.uidaho.edu/engr.